Welcome to SAT TV News. I'm Alicia George, your presenter. In our top stories, first ever sound engineering workshop begins in Dominica. 12-year-old student slaps and chokes teacher. Flight MH370 crashed in South Indian Ocean. And in sports, DFA received donation from former national player. Details of these will follow.
The wheel of change is here at SAT. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAT customers, simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Can you afford to lose everything? In times of uncertainty, ensure you have the security of Quartz Payment Protection. When you shop with Quartz Ready Finance Gold or Ultimate Plan, if you lose your job after 6 months of making payments, our redundancy coverage ensures that the payment on your account continues for up to 12 months. Don't risk losing everything. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and get the payment protection plan that protects you against redundancy, disability, death, and loss of item due to natural disaster, fire, flood, or theft. Quartz Ready Finance with payment protection. Quartz, bringing value home.
Yeah, I know that things are tough, but we will make it out. Dominica, we all gonna make it one day. The pressures of the system make us lose around. Oh yeah, we all gonna make it one day. Yeah, listen now, there's something that I wanna say to you. You get me so angry. Yeah man, this is Emma Moses, you know, and you're watching SAT News, the people's choice, yeah? Make it bless, make it bless, make it bless.
Welcome back. On Saturday, March 22nd, 2014, the world observed World Water Day under the theme Water and Energy. In keeping with the observance, the Dominica Water and Sewage Company Limited, DOWASCO, hosted an exhibition appealing to the public to conserve the island's water resource.
That day was set aside by the United Nations back in 1993 to place emphasis on the importance of the world's freshwater resources. And since then, countries around the world have brought focus and attention on the freshwater resources.
The day focuses attention on the importance of fresh water and promotion of the sustainable management of freshwater resources worldwide. Mr. Regis noted that the day seeks feverishly to promote conservation of water, as contrary to belief, we are able to lose our water resource if it is not preserved for future generations.
We have set up an exhibition here to show just how water is important and how DOWASCO manages the water resources of Dominica, the freshwater resources of Dominica. This is just one of the activities that we have organized.
DOWASCO is currently involved in undertaking a number of water development projects in an effort to improve the water sector in Dominica. This initiative is guided by government's mandate to ensure that every household is equipped with potable water by the year 2015. In other stories, the St. Gerard's Chapel in Roseau was filled with family and friends on Saturday, March 22nd, 2014, when veteran Calypsonian Mr. Clifford Albert Mann himself Mens was laid to rest. Mr. Mens passed away during the early hours on Tuesday, March 11th, 2014, after complaining of feeling unwell on Monday, March 10th. The well-known writer and Calypsonian's death sent shockwaves through the Calypso fraternity and left everyone whose lives he touched in a state of shock. During the funeral service, Bishop of Roseau, His Lordship Gabriel Malzier, who was a friend of Mr. Mens, reminisced on their time spent together while they were both studying to enter the priesthood. Bishop Malzier noted the huge crowds present at the service shows that Mr. Mens' life impacted on the lives of many. In 1982, he went on to become a teacher and most recently taught at the St. Martin Secondary School. Born on July 16, 1955, he left behind 2 children, Bertie and Arifa Mens, who reside at Newtown. May his soul rest in peace and God protect his family.
It's my way. I was told that I could not stand in a leader's position because the man is the head of every institution, but I did it. and that pastor, and that doctor, and that preacher, and that lawyer, and that mother, that caregiver, and that damn good lover. So don't judge me by the color of my skin, how I do my hair, the clothes that I wear, or by all those rumors that you hear. Listen to my...
The Dominica Reading Association, DRA, recently held its first general meeting for the year for members and prospective members, during which the association, focused on increasing reading on the island, announced 2 activities that sought to encourage reading among citizens. These 2 activities are titled Lit and Lunch and Reading in Queue.
One of the programs that we have planned for the 27th of March is Lit and Lunch. We call it Lit and Lunch. It is the idea to have local poets and authors to present their work in a relaxed forum. The first Lit and Lunch is scheduled for Thursday, 27 March 2014 from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on the grounds of the Public Library on Victoria Street. However, you are advised to bring along a light lunch as you sit on the ground and you listen to the performances.
Various authors, including writers and poets, will display and recite their work at the event. The Reading in Queue program, scheduled for the last Friday in April, seeks to encourage members of the public to read while standing in line at various business organizations.
So to encourage the culture of reading, we are hoping that we can give people magazines with light reading materials so that they could look at and read, and on their way out they will hand it back to us. We are also hoping that we could use this opportunity to create more members to our group.
Meanwhile, featured speaker Dr. Skylar Esprit says reading should be introduced as more than a skill.
And most of the time, people will tell you, yes, I want my children to do well at their exams, so I want to improve their reading. That's where the conversation stops a lot of the time. And while that is amazing and great, and all the educators in the room can attest to, yes, that this is really valuable, many of us are here because we also value it beyond just a skill. And so I think I wanted to introduce the conversation about leisure reading, which I was asked to talk about, by making that distinction between the literacy and the literary, talking about aptitudes and appreciation.
According to Dr. Esprit, we must first distinguish leisure reading from formal reading, as this could lead to the art becoming more exciting and inviting. The DRA has just begun to formulate its activities and is expected to announce more events later this year. In more news, the first ever sound engineering workshop got underway on the morning of Monday, March 24, 2014 at the Dominica State College's auditorium. The workshop is a collaborated effort between the Ministry of Employment, Trade, Industry and Diaspora Affairs, the Association of Music Professionals, and the Dominica Coalition of Service Industries. Executive Director of the Dominica Coalition of Service Industries, Mr. Lester Revere, says it is indeed a relief for this workshop to finally come alive.
The main objective of this workshop is to address what the National Export Strategy has identified as one of the major gaps in our music industry, which is the lack of trained personnel in the field of sound engineering. So while our music has been at the forefront in terms of innovation, the technical aspect of music production has lagged. Further, the National Export Strategy identifies a lack of trained personnel in the field of sound engineering as one of the leading factors impeding the commercial success of this industry, as it is well recognized that proficient sound engineering is fundamental to world-class performance. Therefore, in response to this, the DCSI, at the beckoning of the AMP, one of our member associations, has been able to contract the services of Barzillai Entertainment Limited of Trinidad and Tobago to design and administer this 5-day workshop.
Participants who successfully complete all the activities and performance requirements will be awarded a certificate of competence from the Dominica State College. The certificate will also qualify the participants for more advanced certification under the CARICOM Vocational Qualification (CVQ) framework of assessment. President of the Association of Music Professionals, Mr. McCarthy Marie, noted as we continue to deliver the high level of music expected by the public, training is vital.
We all learned by doing. self-taught autodidact. However, for us to be competitive, we need to have better grounding in the science and art of sound engineering. I say science and art because basically what we're going to do here and what we will learn is the science, yes, and the art is mostly left to you. But without a proper grounding and understanding of the science of sound, you will not be able to put your artistic bend to proper use. So we are quite happy that you are here with us today. And just to say that AMP has been in existence since 2007. This is the second training exercise we've put on.
Director of the Department of Continuing Education at the Dominica State College, Mr. Merrill Matthew, also welcomed the initiative. He noted human resource development is the greatest investment that a country, village, and a person can ever make.
The CARICOM Tibet strategy makes a powerful statement in that it says that skills and credentials are the new currency for the 21st century. That speaks volumes. It says to us that the skills that we have and the certification that we have to certify that we have the skills is what will enable us to buy, not only in Dominica, but in the world. I trust you understand that we no longer speak of the world, we speak of a global village. And we are part of that village.
The workshop will come to an end on Friday, March 28th, 2014. To celebrate the 10th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the Commonwealth of Dominica and the People's Republic of China, the Nanjing National Orchestra staged a cultural performance at the Arawak House of Culture on Friday, March 21st, 2014. The two countries reached 1 decade of shared relations on Sunday, March 23rd, 2014.
The Chinese national music is a very important component of Chinese culture that was born and grew in the 4,000-year history of the Chinese nation. The Chinese national music is close to the lives of the Chinese people, finds resonance with common folks, because the music is deep-rooted in the lives and stories of people for it, perform it, and to listen to it. For this reason, they are also varied from region to region. Nanjing National Orchestra, where these fine musicians come from, is one of the top national music orchestras in China.
This was the orchestra's first visit to Dominica. The Chinese ambassador said the evening's performance would afford Dominicans the opportunity to be introduced to the Chinese music. This orchestra was established in 1986 and has performed in more than 30 countries and regions. The activity was followed by a cocktail reception on Saturday, March 22nd at the Conference Center of the State House. In related news, Dominica and the People's Republic of China on Saturday, March 22nd, 2014, hosted a formal reception and cocktail to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries. The reception, which was held at the newly constructed State House, was attended by a number of dignitaries on behalf of the government of Dominica and the Chinese Embassy in Dominica.
Over the past 10 years, fruitful cooperation ranged from infrastructure, agriculture to health and more. A couple of weeks ago, I attended the first spring commencement ceremony at the State College. The college president announced that while a few years back it had problems enrolling student staff, now it has expanded enrollment and will continue to do so. Greater and better educational opportunities afforded by the new facilities can play an important role in future development here and in the region. At the same time, we highly appreciate the firm commitment by the government of Dominica to the One China policy, we highly value the mutual understanding and support between our two countries in international and regional affairs.
A number of technical and economic cooperation projects, aided by the government of the People's Republic of China, are underway in Dominica. Among these are the new Newtown Primary School, 4th Phase Windsor Park Sports Stadium Technical Cooperation Maintenance Project, as well as the supplementary engineering works on EO Libla Highway to include bus shelters. Ambassador Zhang Ning says they will continue to pursue greater development while deepening their friendship and understanding in years to come. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit described the 10-year relationship as a difficult but rewarding one.
In Dominica today, the People's Republic of China is not very vocal, is hardly visible, but yet is always among the first to lend us helping hand in times of adversity. Whether it's a natural disaster, a shortfall in resources, a humanitarian need, or a gesture to improve the natural or creative beauty of our island, the People's Republic of China can always be counted on to stand shoulder to shoulder in solidarity with Dominica and its citizens. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the hallmark of true and genuine friendship.
Mrs. Skerrit informed the ambassador that before necessity warranted, he was vilified and demonized, and the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, signed with good faith and intentions by his government, was mocked and ridiculed. He also pointed out the difficulty in Dominicans' acceptance of the projects undertaken in Dominica by China.
Every project embarked upon and associated with China, and before 10 years of friendship and association, has been a blessing to Dominica and has positively impacted the living experience of our people. For these, Your Excellency, we are very grateful. It is the gratitude that has been demonstrated time and time again by the love, respect, and conduct of the vast majority of Dominicans and well-wishers. The Council of Dominica has supported and continues to give solid support to China on a number of issues of global importance. But it must be no point doubt that never once was the request for support anything more than a request made formally and in the most polite and humble manner.
Mr. Skerrit reaffirmed government's commitment to the One China policy, which he says will never change as long as the government is under his leadership. In more news, Dominica's Lions Club Zone C was highly praised for their community service work by District Governor for Sub-District 60B, Mr. Izet Makala, who recently made a 2-day visit on the island to oversee the affairs of the organization. During the visit, he observed the Lions and Leo clubs' work in the community and country while providing incentives and ideas on how the club can improve on the programs.
But according to our records, this club has been one of the dynamic clubs in this district. And I can't help but keep going back to what happened on New Year's Eve. Because sometimes, not sometimes, but generally you will find that it is in moments of crisis that you see the quality of the individuals who we are working with. And when we had our emergencies in this island and the other two, this club stood up very tall and is a beacon in this district and in the multiple district.
He commended the initiative by the club to provide relief aid for victims of the December 24, 2013 trough system, which flooded many homes, causing significant damage in the south of the island. Mr. Makala noted the mandate of the Lions Club is to serve the people, and over the years it has become the largest service organization in the world.
We all know that there is no shortage of problems and needs of individuals, from health to poverty to guidance for children. We can't possibly have enough members of like heart who are prepared to give of themselves to reach out. The fact that I'm inducting 4 new Lions today is an excellent move, and again I have to congratulate the local club for doing that. Because you must remember that it takes a special kind of person to recognize the need to give back to the community.
The district governor revealed that one of the challenges faced is a means of satisfying the needs of individuals as a non-profit organization.
There are some organizations that will build schools and expand buildings and so on, but we take a deeper interest in the welfare of the individual, because there are many personal challenges that persons have that we can address, and money cannot satisfy everything.
The club provides a wide spectrum of service, from helping the visually and physically impaired, providing childcare and healthcare, and protecting the environment. The 4 newly inducted Lions are Daryl Tate, Kendra Fagan, Alberta George, and Deborah Thompson. In other stories, the St. Mary's Academy and the Pierre Charles Secondary School have advanced to the final round of the Rotary Club of Dominica's International Literary Quiz Competition. The semi-final of the 3rd National Literacy Quiz Competition kicked off on Friday, March 21st at the Dominica State College Auditorium in Stock Farm. Mr. Robert Tong, president of the Dominica Rotary Club, says this commemorative activity highlights the importance of literacy in advancing human development.
The underlying concept of this competition is not only to determine a national winner, but to also reinforce student learning, inspire and actively encourage students to read widely, to develop an understanding of critical thinking, and to explore knowledge and concepts in a select group. The aims are acquisition of knowledge and understanding, developing critical thinking, promoting the reading habit, building the pursuit of excellence, building self-confidence, inculcating the spirit of inquiry, and engaging parents of the community in student learning.
The competition forms part of activities carried for Rotary International Literary Month and sought to assist governments in their efforts to eradicate illiteracy and innumeracy among students. Senior Administrative Officer in the Ministry of Education and Human Resource, Ms. Chandler Hyacinth, endorsed the activity.
And by partnering with us, and by us partnering with you in this activity, we are providing opportunities for our young people to express themselves and to develop themselves academically.
Forms 1 and 2 of various secondary schools participate in the competition, answering questions centered on mathematics, science, history, information technology, social studies, and current events. Participants comprise of schools in the Southern Zone, including the Community High School, the Wesley High School, Dominica Grammar School, Convent High School, Pierre Charles Secondary, and the St. Mary's Academy. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
Deep in my heart, deep in my soul, I'm gonna love you, Sat TV. Yes, I'll do whatever it takes just to keep you in my world, no matter what I'm meant to. Yeah, this is Divine Songs, and you're looking at Sat Telecoms.
The wheel of change is here at SAS. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAT customers, simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Introducing the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz has joined with Ashley Furniture, the #1 selling home furnishings brand in America, to bring you the most extraordinary furniture selection at unbeatable prices. It's now easier than ever before to find that perfect furniture piece for your home. And what's more, you could add that special touch with the right accent piece from our range of designer accessories from Ashley. Create the perfect look for your home with the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home. Visit the new Ashley Gallery at our Roseau store.
In our top regional stories, a 12-year-old primary school student will be sentenced on April 11th after he pleaded guilty to slapping and choking a 32-year-old female teacher. The student from the Jordan Hill Presbyterian Primary School in Trinidad said he had tripped off because other pupils had provoked him about his mother, who died 3 years ago. The court was told that the teacher had observed the schoolboy during recess throwing bottles at other pupils, and she spoke to him about his behavior. The incident comes as education authorities in Trinidad deal with a wave of unruly activities by school children that have gone viral. In more regional news, Caribbean Community CARICOM countries are being urged to establish regional standards for clear, consistent food labeling, while also banning or at least limiting the marketing of energy-dense high-salt foods and beverages to children. The recommendations are contained in an 80-page report released at the Second International Conference on Non-Communicable Disease of Children and Adolescents. The report notes that while most Caribbean countries have played a significant role globally in advancing the response to NCDs, there are no national policies against advertising of unhealthy foods to children or against the harmful use of alcohol. The authors of the report are calling for the establishment of regional standards for clear, consistent food labeling, as well as the development, implementation, and monitoring of national strategies on the reduction in harm from alcohol. And on the international scene, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 went down over the southern Indian Ocean, Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak said Monday, citing a new analysis of satellite data by a British satellite company and accident investigators, and apparently ending hopes that anyone survived. The Prime Minister based his announcement on what he described as unprecedented analysis of satellite data sent by the plane by British satellite provider Inmarsat and British Air Accidents Investigation Branch. He didn't describe the nature of the analysis, but he did say it made it clear that the plane's last position was in the middle of the remote southern Indian Ocean, far from any possible landing sites, and begged reporters to respect the privacy of relatives. The Prime Minister's statement came after the airline sent a text message to relatives saying it deeply regrets that we have to assume beyond any reasonable doubt that MH370 has been lost and that none of those on board survived. In more international news, an Egyptian court sentenced at least 528 supporters of the Muslim Brotherhood to death on Monday on charges related to violent riots in the southern Egyptian city of Minya last August. The riots took place after a deadly crackdown by security forces on two large sit-ins in Cairo, where demonstrators were supporting ousted President Mohamed Morsi. It is reported to be the largest set of death sentences handed to defendants in the modern history of Egypt. Sports is next with Larry, so stay tuned.
The wheel of change is here at SAS. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAS customers simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Thank you for staying tuned. Former national footballer Mr. George Carrington has donated 8 full referee kits in addition to 20 tracksuits to the DFA, Dominica Football Association. Mr. Carrington said this donation is something he always wanted to do.
I'm proud, very proud to do what I'm doing because I'm giving back. Let's put it this way, I made a lot of money playing soccer in Canada. I'm giving back now something. I also donate a lot of jerseys to clubs, but as Clem said, I always like to keep it underneath. I'm not really a public person when it comes to things like that.
Mr. Carrington is urging former national players like himself to give back to the sport, no matter how small the donation. Mr. Neron Williams, president of the Dominica Referees Association, welcomed the donation.
Oftentimes, the referees, though a very critical part of the game, are always left out. But it's very heartwarming this afternoon to see that Mr. Carrington didn't leave us out this time. And I must say on behalf of the referees that the kits given this afternoon are very timely. Though we are towards the end of our season, but we have some new officials who are in with us who doesn't have kits as yet, so I think it is very timely. We'll have the kits available for them. And I must say to the referees, Mr. Carrington didn't donate kits to us this afternoon to have at our homes. I'm sure the aim is to come out here, look smart in the uniforms, and do a very good job on the field.
Meanwhile, Public Relations Officer of the DFA, Mr. Gerald Judge, said the tracksuits will come in handy when Dominica hosts the Windward Islands tournament in April of 2014 in honor of the deceased senior coach and player who passed away last year.
After that, the team has to travel for the Caribbean Cup. So, Mr. Carrington, I think you're right on time with those tracksuits.
Treasurer of the DFA, Mr. Philip White, says Mr. Carrington has aided tremendously towards football on the island and continues to do so. In cricket, West Indies lost their opening match of the World 2020 Championship after producing a limp performance to go down by 7 wickets to India at the Sher-e-Bangla National Stadium on Sunday. The Windies struggled to find momentum against India's accurate seam and spin attack and had to settle for a paltry 129 for 7. In reply, India reached their target in a canter of 19.4 overs, with opener Rohit Sharma 62 not out and stroke maker Virat Kohli 54 carving out half centuries. In football, Mausaka strikers have earned the right to compete in the DFA Premier Division football competition next season. The Mau-based team was promoted on Friday evening after they defeated Ray Charles Point Michel by 3-1 in a playoff encounter at the Bath Estate playing field. Jaron Sebastian found the back of the net twice, while the other goal was scored by Wayne Walker. For Point Michel, Brian Nelson scored the lone goal.
In the Intermediate League on Friday, Trafalgar Football Club and Kinsfield Football Club played to a 1-1 draw. Siobhan Devers scored for Trafalgar, with Dexter Williams scoring for Kinsfield. On Saturday, the Dominica Secondary School defeated All Saints 3-0 in the first match of a doubleheader at the Bath Estate playing field. Ryan Matthew, Montel James and Giles Mitchell scored for the secondary school. In the second match of the night, RC Doctors and National Champion Collier played to a 1-1 draw. Kirby Pascal scored for Doctors, with Kimaya Strong doing the scoring for Collier. While at the Benjamin Park, MV Maxano Bombers maintained the 100% record at home with a 2-1 win over Central. Lionel Joseph scored for Bombers, with the other goal coming from an East Central player. Shane Serafin scored for East Central.
In more football, hard work certainly paid off for Coulson Benjamin.
Meanwhile, national striker Coulson Benjamin will wear the golden boot for the 2014 season as he registered a hat-trick, taking his tally of goals to 19, to former champions Scotiabank Bath Estate, who were 4-2 win over Exodus Football Club on Sunday at the Geneva Grounds in the final match of the Lime Premier League. Ezra Richards also scored for Bath Estate, Minster George and Lama Phillips for Exodus. And in the only match in the Dublek Women's League on Sunday, New Generation Sports Club had South East Stars 8-1 at the Bath Estate playing field. Tamanfred Jose from the back of the net, with one each coming from Timora Elwin, Tracy Ann Etienne, Brittany Stout, Ezra Elwin, Donna Rivera Judge, and an own goal.
Our thanks to Larry for that report. Now for today's history. Like most women of her era, Dorothy Irene Height was one of the unsung heroines of the civil rights movement. Born on March 24, 1912 in Richmond, Virginia, Height attended integrated schools and developed a gift as a talented orator and became involved in anti-lynching campaigns. In 1994, President Bill Clinton awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And in 2004, President George W. Bush presented her with a Congressional Gold Medal. Now for the thought of the day. You must welcome change as a rule, but not as a ruler. Dennis Waitley. That's the thought of the day, and this takes us to the end of our news package for the evening. When we return, a recap of the headlines.
Yeah, I know that things are tough, but we will make it out. Dominica, we all gonna make it one day. The pressures of the system make us lose around. Oh yeah, we all gonna make it one day. Yeah, listen now, there's something that I wanna say to you. You get me so angry. Yeah man, this is Emma Moses, you know, and you're watching Sat News, the People's Choice, yeah? Make it bless, make it bless, make it bless.
The wheel of change is here at SAS. New and exciting rewards just for you. Sat customers simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with Sat TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more.
Get more from Sat TV, the people's choice. Sat terms and conditions apply.
And now for a recap of the headlines. First ever sound engineering workshop begins in Dominica. 12-year-old student slaps and chokes teacher. Flight MH370 crashed in South Indian Ocean. And in sports, the FA received donation from former national player. You have been watching Sat TV's news. We thank you for joining us, and we invite you to join us again tomorrow for another news package. On behalf of Sat TV's news production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a pleasant evening. Feel free to send your queries and comments to news@sat.dm. You can also join us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/SatTelecoms or follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/SatTelecoms. Remember, Sat Telecoms is the people's choice, and SatNet, a better choice.
Here on this coastline, you've seen a lot of coastal erosion, which can be attributed to a few things. One is general coastal erosion due to storm surges, hurricanes, and then also sea level rise.
Prior to Hurricane Lewis, there existed quite a bit more beach from what you're seeing in actual fact right now. And it seems to, after the hurricane, it looked like all of the sand was washed away from all of the beaches. Now, generally that has happened in the past on a number of occasions. The difference this time around was that the sand never came back. And so it has raised a lot of concern over the past years. We're talking probably about, I think, 10 years since Hurricane Lewis has passed. And so it has raised a lot of concern, amongst all of the residents up and down the beach. And I think each of the residents have tried, on their own to protect their property by placing boulders and stuff like that, and create little groins out, along the seafront.
People have put in structures to try and protect their property, like the ones that you see behind me, grounds. And in certain circumstances, they help the situation, help that property, but they also have other detrimental impacts, like coastal erosion, like you see all along the coast here.
I basically tried to protect a little bit of my waterfront by not necessarily placing more boulders, but by basically shoring up the actual building itself. And all with the hope that at some point in time there would be a holistic approach to repairing the beach. And up till now that hasn't happened. The condominium complex that was developed next door apparently lost its appeal because there was no more beach. And if you've been around the front, you can see that there was a swimming pool right there, and even that's almost been eroded away through as well.